Cool, hello, this is Calvin from Two Champagne, and I am gonna do a little mini doc for the debut album, The Age of Realism. Talk about how I made it, process, recording, inspirations, and there's gonna be some art, like videos like this one, and photography, and all kinds of fun stuff. So here we go.
The edge of realism is on repeat.
The Age of Realism, it's a line from a song, and I think it seemed like a good name for the whole album. The Age of Realism kind of feels like maybe a late stage in adulting or something when, I don't know, maybe we lose our fantasy future ideals and maybe get into the swing of the day-to-day.
I stayed in my nave without a hope in the world.
The writing process probably started about 4 years ago. Kind of writing from my own perspective, but also a collective perspective. I'm always kind of on the hunt for bits and pieces that resonate for some reason or another, be they lines from a book or pieces of songs, things I read, things I hear, things someone says. Everything kind of gets collected, and then when I sit down to write, sometimes I'm referencing these lists of words, phrases I've collected, sometimes puzzling them together, sometimes lyrically through like a unconscious like mumble track, sort of like mumbling things until I kind of settle into these grooves. So I usually do start with the music. One of my favorite parts of the process is once the music's all done, to just put my headphones in, loop the music, and sing just 20 tracks of it. And from that, usually things start like working through the sieve and start to settle in a groove until they kind of feel right. And then sometimes I'm taking, writing those pieces and kind of fine-tuning it, making it maybe feel a little more cohesive. For example, here's a little piece from a Russian fairy tale called Vasilisa the Beautiful. Baba Yaga looked at her closely. "I know your stepsister," she said, "but I don't give anything for no return."
I don't do nothing for no return.
There's gotta be like one reference to the Lord of the Rings at least. This is my first music project that I've done on my own. So I wrote every song and produced probably 90% of it, and I played bass and keyboard and programmed the software drums, played guitar, sang. There's some really fun collaborations which I'll get to later. I'm going to introduce the instruments on this album. I'd say the palette that I'm using is pretty small, kind of specific. There's just a few instruments, and here they are in proper photo glam style. So we'll start with the acoustic guitar. A lot of the songs started being written on this guitar. We have the ocarina. Sweet, sweet drumming provided by Joe Silverstein. So next I'm going to introduce the instruments, and as I'm introducing them, I'll add that layer to a song so you can kind of hear how each piece worked in. We'll start this one off with the Casio keys, beats. Next up, software drums. Now I'll add the bass guitar. A little electric guitar spice. An old karaoke microphone. And then this condenser mic that I used on everything. So yeah, you can kind of hear how those were built. Pretty simple. Now I'll talk about a couple of the instruments in more detail. This guitar is special to me. My grandma gave it to me when I was 12-ish, and she had actually found it in a dumpster and had it for a few years, wasn't really playing it, and I was kind of interested in music, so she said, here, play this guitar. And I think, I don't know if I'd be playing music as much if it wasn't for this guitar, because it is so beautiful to play and to listen to. It is soothing, a pacifier of sorts, and I love it. And this keyboard, another important part of the album, was my other grandma's. She played accordion, she sang, she clogged, she danced. So yeah, this is in every song. I love the flute sound, and the speakers have this kind of like built-in tremolo quality to them. They kind of sometimes go like woo, woo, kind of subtly though. So I usually mic'd the speakers of this. The ocarina I won in a YouTube contest in college. It's a ceramic instrument. You'll hear it throughout the album. It's kind of like sometimes windy, sometimes bird-like. Probably wouldn't have gotten it done without the help of my friends. First, my guitar teacher, Al Church, great local musician, mentor for me. He played guitar on 2 tracks, did a little production work, and was just a great inspiration throughout the whole thing. Really lucky to have my friend Joe play drums on 4 of the 6 songs, and the other 2 have software drums. I also got some great help from some family members, like my 6-year-old daughter, Wellen, and baby mama, Leah Munson. Friends Marin and Morgan from Bad Posture Club sang as well. Roommate played some violin. I'm gonna move on to recording. Mostly everything was recorded here in my house on this sweet mic. After I had everything recorded, I sent them off to someone who knows how to mix. Charlie, awesome job, here he is. He was able to really make it sound cohesive, correct. Once everything was mixed, for mastering, I went through an online service called Lander, L&R, Lander. The cover of the Age of Realism is a drawing by Picasso that I found in this National Geographic's issue from 1967. It's since been ravaged by collage making, but that's where that came from. Alright, thanks for tuning in. It's coming out soon. And I'm proud of it.